Hey everybody, it's CheckTheFX with another Minecraft tutorial, and today we're going to be going over a fully automated, completely modular style of sugarcane farm. Yep, that's sugarcane farm using the new observer block that you see next to me that has been added as of version 1.11. Now I know there's probably been a lot of other YouTubers that have been adding this on, but what I've been designing is a completely modular system where every single piston that fires is independent of the other. So this one basically have every single piston running individually on its own. So without further ado, let's get to the tutorial. So before we get into the actual workings of the mechanism itself, I want to just have a quick review on the observer block itself. And since this is a new block that was just added in version 1.11, and what happens in this case with this block is that it will detect any updates in the block that's in front of it. So right now I have a block that's air. And if I go ahead, and you can see on one side you have this little dot here with a red dot that's there, and you see this face that's on the front. You can see two eyes, a little mouth that's there as if they're looking at something. But if I go ahead and put a block in front of the face, you'll see that the little light there for the redstone signal flashes, right? It just pulses on and off. If I take it off, it again pulses. Now if I were to go ahead and take a piston, for instance, put the piston on here, and then get myself a lever, and then I put my lever right there. And what I'm going to do also is just to make it a little more clear, so I'm going to take a redstone lamp as well. I'm going to take my redstone lamp and I'm going to put it right over there, so that way it's a little bit more clear. So now when I go ahead and flip the lever, you'll see it pulses on and off, and then when I retract when I flip the lever again to retract the piston, it pulses on and off again. So a very useful system. Is also, this block happens to have one of the most quickest pulses out of all of your redstone machines or redstone devices that you have. If you compare like a torch, a lever, or a button, right, or even a comparator. Now comparators, of course, are dependent on other devices such as droppers, dispensers, etc. But this probably has the fastest pulse that you'd get out of most of the other devices that are there. So now on to our little modular system. The way we would work is that it would have a collection system that would consist of a rail mechanism or rail system that has a minecart hopper. A hopper minecart going back and forth and collecting whatever sugarcane may drop along the tracks. It then would deposit it into a hopper and then send that over into a chest. So for this, what you're going to need are several building blocks. For the simpler style, for this part right here, you're going to have like two types that you need to alternate. You have this one style, which is one here, which is the simpler version, and for that you're going to have like 6 blocks of building blocks, but like in this case I'm using quartz. You also have your observer block, a regular piston. You also have you're going to need some water, a redstone dust, a sugarcane, dirt, rail, and also of course your minecart with a hopper in it. Okay, so now when I go ahead and flip this on like this, you'll see that the piston goes ahead and fires, and it'll harvest your sugarcane. Now there are some losses involved, I will say that, but when the cart starts moving, this loss starts to decrease. So you'll see if I go ahead and put my sugarcane on here, only one, in that case one of the sugarcane ended up going into the hopper, as you can see. So I've got 14 here and 64 here from my previous tests. So if I go ahead and fire this again, so we'll go ahead and do this again. There you go. And you can see one of them actually got in, right? Now, so you are going to have to go in every now and then and clear this up, which is unfortunately something you can't really avoid, at least for now. But go ahead and put this in here. Now let me go ahead and try this again. 2, and I see it ends up going into the chest. See? So this works pretty well. So for the track portion, you're going to need like 2 to 4 powered rails on either end of the track. Make sure that every 10 rails or so that you put in a powered rail if it's going to be really, really long. Also, you're going to need some redstone torches to power your powered rail. So let's go ahead and see this one. So if I go ahead and put this on, you see one of them fires. If I go ahead and put this one on, that one fires. Now if I go ahead, you can see that each of these is independent of the other, right? And the one that you have the more circuitry is actually going to have the piston extend much more slowly, whereas opposed to this one was very quick. Okay, if I go ahead and look inside here, you can see I got my sugarcane inside the hopper as well. Next we're going to go ahead and see how we go and build this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on by adding on to this portion here. So we're going to go ahead and remove this glass here, and I'm going to down here and create my little area where the water is going to go. So I'll go put it in like this, and you can see from this side where the water is, right? So now I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this out a little more like this, and then I'm going to break these 2 blocks. Whoops, forgot about the water part here. I'm going to go ahead and put my dirt in, and then I'm going to go ahead and break this out. I'm going to add my water. So one here, there we go. And then go ahead and extend your rail where your rail is going to go. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and end this off here. Now what you can do is add your 2 building blocks. Then you're going to add your pistons, and then your observer blocks. Oops, remember also you got to turn around this way. So the observer block will be placed with the face of the observer block facing away from you, and the little button there, the little LED, sorry, not the LED, the little redstone signal source, output source would be facing towards you, right? So if you go ahead and put this on also, you'll notice that it turns on and off because it just detects that the next block has been, is an error block for the first time. You'll see that happen. Next, what you want to do is take your building block, and then you're going to want to put this on top of your observer blocks. This is just there to make sure that you don't have any sugarcane flying over it. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take your single block here, and then we're going to then take a piece of redstone dust and just place it right there, and that's pretty much it for that one unit. So this is just this observer block will power the redstone dust, which powers this block, which will in turn power this piston, and then it'll fire. So it's very, very simple. Now for the second one, you're going to have to do something a little bit different, because if you go ahead and do it the same way, you're going to see that if you put like this, you'll see the redstone dust will end up being connected. So we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend this out a little bit more. So we're going to put one here like this, and we're going to extend 1, 2, and then put one on top like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take your redstone repeater like this, and we're going to stick it like this. Now if you want, you can put a delay on the repeater up here if you want to. That's completely up to you. And then you put one here and another repeater to take the power out of this. I'm going to put a delay here, like a full 4 ticks, and then go ahead and put my redstone dust pointing into this block. Now in this case, what happens is the observer block, I have to make sure that I put some redstone dust on here too. The observer block will power once it detects something in front of its face, an update in front of its face. It will then power this repeater, which will then send the current down the wire and into this block. This block will then allow power to go into this repeater, which sends it into this dust, which then sends it into this block, which powers the piston above it. So that's how that will work. So now what you're going to do is just going to take your, actually let's go ahead and take our rails, put your rails down so this can go back and forth. And then we're also going to go ahead and get our sugarcane, put our sugarcane down, and that's practically it. Now if you want to, you can also then add on your, if you're finished, you can end this off by adding on your ends, like so. Let's go ahead and do this. Put our ends on. Now we're going to put them up about that much. And what I'm going to do also is I'm going to bring this out a couple more blocks, and I'm going to also break all this. From here I'm going to go get myself some hoppers. Take my hoppers and put that down like this. 2, 3, holding the shift key in order to do that. And then I can get rid of this block, get myself a chest. So I'm going to stick my chest on this end like so. You can stick it however you want. I'm going to double chest. You can put a single chest if you want. And then what I'm going to do is take some powered rail, and I'm going to go ahead and put my powered rail on here, as well as another one on this side here. Actually, I'm going to take it all the way to this side like that. There we go. And then go ahead and take my redstone torch to power my rails. One on this side, one on this side. There you go. And then get my minecart started, and there we go. We've got it going along on its merry way. Okay, also what I want to do is make sure that you have a little bit of a floor there, either if it's dirt from another planet, dirt from another one, or whatever, just so that you have something for the sugarcane to land on this side. If you want to create a wall, if you don't want to have it on the other side and you just want one line like this, you could also just, cover this up with a wall, for instance, like so. And this will actually improve your chances of having less loss by making sure that the sugarcane doesn't fly too much and ends up going into the minecart rather than flying off on different directions. So let's go ahead and do this on right now. 1 and then 2. There you go. We have 3 sugarcane that went in there. From a previous test this there. 1, 2. There you go. We have now another sugarcane that went in, and then this one here. It goes in. Oh, we got 2 of this, 2 that time, so we ended up with 6. And as we test this one also, and that one I don't think we'll grab, but we'll see. Nope, you got one in there. So there we go. So that is your fully automated, completely independent piston-based sugarcane farm that uses your observer block from version 1.11. So that's the end of this tutorial. I just happened to decide to take a break from one of my larger projects, as you can see in the back, which I'm going to be putting up on a tutorial on. And this is one of my more smaller ones that are far more easier to build, easier to make. And I hope you managed to enjoy this one. So please, if you want to, just please leave some comments, and just make sure to keep it clean. Do like and subscribe. And this is Check the Effects. Sign it off. I will see you in the next video. Peace.